to the city streets, we began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon, we lay awake in bed. It laughs so loud as the hours pass, we're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running wild. The moonlight, the summer sky, it was the best we ever had. And we'll stay on forever, we'll never have regrets. We wanna chase the
Hello and good afternoon. Oh, how are you guys? It's Friday and it's 2 p.m. and I found lots of things to work with for you guys, or well, for us to work with. And please do tell me you got audio. We should have audio, at least from what I see. There should be audio for you guys. So yeah, I am definitely happy to hang out today. Hello everyone. Hello, hello, hello. It is really spring here, even though I don't really look like it. Hello Susan, great to see you. It's absolutely wonderful weather here. Let's see. I am missing the sunshine a little bit, and yet it is sometimes coming through. I think it's cloudy. But let's see what Nightbot says. If this Nightbot wants to play with us today, it could be that Nightbot needs a little moment to get in. It is mostly cloudy here around my area. It is 67 degrees Fahrenheit at about 90 degrees Celsius. The wind is blowing from southwest at 5 miles per hour. The current humidity 41, so it is nice weather. And I am chilled. There is audio. Good afternoon, Susan. Good afternoon, Helle. Oh well, actually, I should say good morning to Susan because she's a morning girl, location-wise. So I have stuff, and technically, we discussed a while ago that making a pom-pom for my Bankhead Beanie would be a great idea. So back in February, I finished this Bankhead Beanie. And I have to say the closing, I think I've done a better closing, but it's closed. And it sort of feels like it's missing something. And we all agreed a pom-pom could be nice. And then I packed it all away. And it's kind of been hiding in my stash, not been done. But here's the leftover yarn I have. So I was thinking I'll make a pom-pom in that leftover yarn. That would be a great idea. so that is a thing we really need to look at into doing today. I do have a pom-pom set for 3 different sizes. And then I also have some ice yarns, my scrap millends that I all caked up. You saw those on the thumbnail photo. And I am debating if I should spend some time during this live to cast on for a rib knit beanie, or if I may end up waiting that for later. I also have yarns to start on a bucket hat. And I also have the hat collector shawl. So we do have options today. But I feel that the beanie kind of takes preference in the sense of making that pom-pom. And then we can kind of look into the other one later. Hello, Just Lucy. Yes, I do remember you've been hanging around with us. I hope you're doing well. I hope you are well this day. So, I need scissors, I can see, for this. Because there's a nice instructions here on the back side of those pom-poms. And looking size-wise, I think maybe the small is too small. But the medium one is better because the big one is like really big. So I think we're going for the medium one, the green one. What do you think? I don't know. And that's the yarn I have left. Then it's gone. No more of this. No even clue how to get it because it was a millend without a label as to what it was, except it was an acrylic yarn. Do you think? I think the medium one would probably be suitable for this one, don't you? And there's lovely description as to how I will do this. Is there also an English description for this? There is. Cut 2 20-centimeter length of yarn, put them together and clamp them into the 2 notches on opposite sides of the pom-pom maker. The same length of yarn should protrude on both sides. Begin wrapping the yarn around the pom-pom maker. Continue wrapping it in a left to right direction until the notch at the top is filled completely with yarn. Take the ends of the yarn out of the notches and knot them together in a loop. Step 7. Pull the loop tight, fasten it with a second knot, insert the tip of a scissor blade into the gap between the 2 parts of the pom-pom maker, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that sounds easy enough, right? Should be, I guess. But so yeah, I start by getting them loose because they're all like tie ripped into this. But I really think the medium is probably the good size here. I have no idea. I just assume that's also going to be the final size, and maybe medium will work better. Oh my goodness, they are really placed on tight. With some really stiff tie rips. But yeah, let's just get them all out. I'll need to use them sooner or later. Da, da, da. Hello, Sabina. Nice to see you here. Welcome to this live. I'm right now trying to loosen my pom-pom makers from the board of, well, from where I purchased them, so to say. And I am utterly surprised how well these tie rips are. Jesus, to say the least. Good. So my point is, if that's gonna be like the total size, then obviously we have 2 options here. right? And if we just hold this one up and just do like this barely covers the crown up here. So let's say that's too small, where this one covers it nicely. Yeah, we'll do the green because I think the pink one, which is the large one, it definitely covers plus some, but you know, like that's going to be the main hat almost then. That is not something we're going to do. Okay. Should we pop you guys down? We could find the dual camera view here. Yeah, you have multiple faces of me. Sweet. Ta-ta! Here we are. So, beanie, yarn for the pom-pom and my instructions. And as I said, I did find the English description on the back side. Oh, sorry. Oh, I believe Sabina is trying to say that she is not good in English. I'm afraid my Spanish is horrendous. My Spanish is also not existent, so I can relate. I guess my Spanish is as good as your English then. I'm sorry. So let's see. What does this one say? Cut 2 20-centimeter length of yarn. We're going to be like cut 2. Let's do that then. 2 centimeters. 20 times 2. We'll do what the instructions say. Got 2 of them. And then the question really is here. No, we're not gonna. No. Okay. And they are gonna go not necessarily on each side though. But about same length. Italian could be, I don't know. Regardless, both my Italian and my Italian is limited to poco formaggio, which is basically saying only a little cheese please on my menu when I'm like grabbing something. Ta-ta. It will go down a little. Well, that's kind of okay-ish. Okay, so far so good. Ta-ta. Then begin wrapping yarn around the pom-pom. So we will begin the wrapping process. I have a feeling that we are gonna need a little bit more from this end. Ta-ta. Well, then I didn't do something that I should have done. So I should kind of double cross the first one to help keep that strand in place. Like that. Before it was just moving. So that is what we are doing. Making pom-poms. or at least an attempt at making pom-poms. Ciao a tutti, Italian. Yeah, that would be Italian. Hello, Rev. But my Italian is, well, yeah, not a lot, unfortunately. My boss is actually Italian, but we talk English with one another. So, so there's that. It's not like we do lots of it. Hello, Rev. Good morning. We're doing fine. As I said just before going live, that today I finally found the very few leftover strands, as you can see the screen, for the beanie that I made back in February. And then I'm like, okay, we really need to get this pom-pom made. And I'm just looking at the pom-poms and I'm like, okay, I'm still not making it, but I can keep like not making it. But that's not gonna fix it, is it? So now I just decided to let's do it. Because I do have the maker. It's been laying a long while in my stash, not being used. So the next question is here, how far do I keep going? It looks to be a fair amount, to be honest, so we'll keep going. We'll keep going. I did not see that, but I also don't necessarily have time to keep watching YouTube all the time because I spend time doing lives and so on. I got photos taken of my bucket hats finally. So I have something to do this weekend. Any ideas as to how far this goes? It doesn't really say, that's why I'm asking, I guess. Oh, no, 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 no. Begin wrapping the yarn around the pom-pom maker. Continue wrapping in a left-right direction until the notch at the top is filled completely. Okay, I need to fill it until there's no gap up here. That makes sense. That's what we'll do. Oh, saluti dalla Sicilia. Sicily? Anyhow, Rev says, I know he said that we did not need to launder them before sending, but I also know how much he likes nice smelling things. So when he mentioned how soft and how nice they smelled, I got a big smile. Ah, it looks like I can always make a second pom-pom here because we are pretty close to this one being full. And then I am debating if I should take a knife rather than a scissor to fix it. Because, you know, this is pretty thick. What are you doing when you're making your pom-poms? Are you cutting them with scissors or are you cutting them with knives? Like, let me know. I'm debating if I should go grab the hobby knife, which I know is on the table next to my partner's place. I think we're pretty good here. So, completely filled. Bum bum. Step Take the ends of the yarns out of the notches, knot them together in a loop. Pull the loop tight and fasten with a second knot. Okay, well, I can do that. That's easy. So far, so good, right? Take them out of the notch, out of this notch. Do, do, do. I've made pom-poms before, but it's like, I don't know, I was a child, I think. So, and I think that was back when you used 2 pieces of cardboard. Susan says, I cut with sharp, pointy scissors. This won't come undone. That's reasonably definite. I could then also knot in with this end and with this end. I'm just making extra knots, making completely sure it won't come undone. And then once more, just to be remotely sure. So the thing is, I only have like these, and they are a bit dull up here. They're here. It's sharp enough, and technically they would fit in, but I guess I should start by cutting the yarn. Don't tell me now that I should probably have left it on, shouldn't I? Whatever. It's too late now. Tip, if you like, you can make a second pom-pom and knot the 2 halves together to create a fuller effect. Okay. We'll see how big this turns out to be. Let's see if this goes. Here we go. Well, actually, they might be sharp enough because, see, it does get fluffy. But I also admit I may need to like take the thickest here on top and do that twice. But that's like details, right? So, ta-ta! I guess we have ourselves a pom-pom. Yeah. So I should definitely, probably, have made it a bit longer, but the end, because now I know, of course, I need to add it to the hat. And I didn't think about leaving it long enough to be able to sew it on, but that's kind of how we're looking, which is kind of okay. Do need to shorten a bit, but that's not too bad. But Stina forgot to think twice, which definitely happens more often than not. But okay, no worries. Be happy. Always good to have a good excuse. We'll need a nice end. Ideally, we probably create a slip knot. So I do feel that it could have had a bit more fluff to the side. So I get this, like making two if you want, but on the other side, I'm also not completely unhappy with this. Look, I got it attached. And it should definitely not have been the smaller one. That would not have worked, I think. So I probably also need to like cut the longer ends. Right? Because that looks a bit funky. So do you sometimes then take how can I say that? Would you take a brush and brush them out, like frail all of the ends further out? Nice, I made a mess. Susan says I don't brush pom-poms. You don't have to. I'm just wondering what people do. Because obviously it's different from person to person. But I do trim them. Yeah, definitely. They do need a bit of trim, don't they? I will see if it needs further trimming once I'm done sewing it on. So right now we are just, so this is gonna be a can't get off for washing. Which I guess will be fine. Of course, it's not a fox fur in any case. So it's gotten a couple of strands to help keep track. Now we're on the back side. To attempt weave in these in and tighten it nice. So it stays put. Da, 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 da. I still can't figure out if I should have added even more yarn to it. Maybe I should have, but I think it's gonna be fine. So, cut, yarn. I still have a tiny leftover, but that is very little. Now it's time to see if we feel it needs further trimming. I feel almost that I better can see that on my head mannequin. But there are a few long ends still. Ta-ta! I think that's pretty okay. Don't you? Or am I spotting a place I forgot to trim? Rev doesn't do palms. I don't do a lot of palms. I just do them sometimes. So I made the my rib knit beanies. I usually don't add palms on, but it was more like I didn't like how I had finished the top, so it kind of feels like I need to hide it, if that makes sense. Hence why we have now made a pom-pom. I think that's pretty okay. Because under here, it's okay, but you know, it was a little bit on the very, very last 1 or 2 rows. It felt a bit thin, so to say. So I felt it needed something to kind of cover it up. And that is the reason I made a pom-pom. Not because I had a desperate desire. And oh yeah, we got to test out these. Further than that, we still have a little bit of leftover. That's just going to go into my scrap pile of acrylics. Who knows what I'll make with it? Maybe I'll make a tiny, tiny amigurumi. Or maybe something completely else. Who knows? To do. Rev says looks fine. I think so too. I'm okay with it. I think that was ended up good. So it's just kind of to cover up my closing because my closing wasn't that neat. Rev picked up a cool pattern recently. What did you pick up? Is the big question. Meanwhile, we need to figure out what we're going to do next. Tea. Today, it's just a classic Darjeeling. But we have a few options. We have the Heart Collector Shawl, to where I finished all the way where we frogged to, and I didn't reach that the last skein, so that is completely thing to do. Oh, that was the wrong side. That was the front side. So I did catch up on where we left, sort of. But as I said, I need to add a new skein. That is one option. So we can work on the heart collectors. We can also choose to help Stina start. Well, I also have the Water Pearl Shawl, which I might have to frog. I'm not sure. So I'm kind of not the keenest on getting into that one. But what I say is I have opportunity to either cast on knitting needles to cast on Rib Knit Beanie, double stranding, or to grab my cotton yarn and start on a bucket hat. So that's kind of what we are at. Let's see. I think Rev is sharing with us his new pattern. So I will just pop over to the Ravelry for you guys. First, this is the Sunny Granny Square crochet pattern. So you're gonna crochet a sweater to the wife or to yourself? I assume for your wife, because this looks kind of female-ish. Because then, my friend, you're moving away from the blanket era. Because this is not a blanket. I can tell you that. It's definitely boho style. I'd agree. I can't find out if I'd just prefer the square part on the front or if I'm more for the striped back. I think the striped back I'm more keen on overall. But it's a nice one. Now I get in the mood to make sweaters, mate. I want to make sweaters now. Sometimes my chat on my computer delays. For the wife, Susan says an interesting top. And Ref will make it in the West variant so she can wear it longer. Gives a couple of options in the pattern. Okay, so you don't necessarily need to add the sleeves. So it can just be a vest version. That's kind of cool. So as I said, we do have the heart collectors. That's one option. Option 2 is I cast on for Rib Knit Beanie. I caked up all of the remaining millends I have from Ice. So I have these two, which is the same yarn, but they were two different skeins. They look the same size, but as you can see, these cakes are clearly a different size. And that's because this is almost 100 grams, and this is just 50 grams, so it's half. Also weight-wise, this one is half. So I can't double strand these two if I just wanted one color. Great, lovely, fresh teal color. Or I can combine this teal, light blue, with this blue, which this blue is about the same as, there's about the same amount of yarn here. Maybe a couple of meters difference. The yarns are the same. I felt it, and while I was caking up this, I'm inclined to say this is Draylon acrylic, so that's a premium acrylic. But I don't exactly know which of Ice it is, but it feels like a Draylon or a premium acrylic, or anti-pill at least, because also how this yarn is spun, it's very similar to Hobby's Kind Feather or their Sunbird yarn. That's the former butterfly yarns. Then of course also I have this lovely, lovely purple, but this purple I only have 60 grams of, so there's a little bit more of this. So weight-wise, it looks more like this. So this is the lightest or the least, then this one, then this one, and then this one. And then of course I have the orange, very bright orange. This is really like a neon orange. And weight-wise, that goes in the middle, I believe it was. I wrote it down. I wrote it down because I need it, of course, for when I'm consuming these yarns. And this doesn't even look orange on the camera. But if I just tell you guys, really it is orange. It's probably a bit closer to what you can see up in the corner. There you can see this rapid color distance. Or if I move it all the way back, I don't know. It's due to my lighting in this room. It looks yellow here, but it is neon orange. It's very much like, let's see if we can shadow it a bit. There you can see. That's a bit closer to what it is now. if you look in the middle of it. So here I had 50 grams. Here I had 62 grams, 89, 96, and 97. So I am not completely sure how much I need. Yeah, my other camera, but that's not necessarily, part of it is due to it being, I think it's contrasting. I'm just going all light. I'm forgetting, and now I'm all dark. That's closer. Yeah, that's probably how it is. Now these are a bit darker than they are, but they're still reasonably close. But this is better. Every time I have these light colors, my camera goes nuts, and I have to like tone it all down. The contrast, I think it doesn't like it. What would you do? What would you do? Susan says mix them all together. I could do that. I've been debating if I need to just keep this one separate, because I do have a white different yarn somewhere which I could double it with. That would probably make like 2 beanies, I'd imagine, without being sure. I don't feel these two necessarily go well together, or these two, but I feel these two go fine together. I also feel these two go well together. And the orange just doesn't go well with anything except for the blue. Ruff says I would make a continuous granny square, but that is always my solutions to scraps. Yeah, so technically they're millends and scraps. Yeah, I don't know. It sounds wrong to call them scraps when they are not this size yet. Because this is a scrap. This is a scrap. An official scrap. These, they can all still make beanies. So, because I don't think I have 2-1 in this one, I'm debating if I just need to throw those two together. And then I'll weigh what I have left of this one when I'm done. And I can combine that maybe with this or with that, probably depending. And then I can make one that's just thicker, solid in this. And then I have this one that I can use with a leftover. But it could also be, it's maybe not too bad because they are both really, really bright. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And that's kind of why I haven't really gotten started, I guess, because I'm kind of like holding a little bit back. Susan says, what will you do with the finished hats? I think I'm gonna throw them up on the local marketplace for reasonably cheap, which just covers cost of yarns and shipping. And if they don't sell, I'll donate them. So I'm inclined to see if I can attempt selling them. And it is a really nice yarn. It's quite soft actually, especially compared like the red ones I made. All 3 red I made during January. They are being donated, but these this is nice. Same for this one. It's quite nice. This is even softer than this green one. So yeah. So that is one world. And then we of course also have my I do have some of the drops cotton yarns, which I have in a bag over here. trying to keep track of all my stuff. Ta-ta. Where we could start on a bucket hat. In these colors. So that's the alternative, but I guess that's a bit boring because it's all black and gray. Or we just continue with what we are familiar with and keep going on the hat collectors. Choices, choices, choices. You can influence what I'll be doing for the rest of the day. Let's make a little poll in sense of, if you select 1, we option for the hat collectors. If you select 2, you option for us to choose colors and start on a double-stranded beanie. And if you choose 3, we'll start on a bucket hat. Rev says the orange would make nice stripe with the darker blue. And Susan says if they'll get donated, color compost doesn't matter. And she's for the blue-orange rib hat. Are we talking about this blue or the more like tealy blue? Because the thing is, I don't have much that matches this, or I'll also find a different acrylic. I do have some purple acrylics in my stash, I think, upstairs that I could mix them with. Oh, I could do an actual poll. Yeah, I could do that, but I guess let's see if I can find that. I should be able to find it. Start a poll. This is not very handy dandy when my keyboard is here. What is it called? But we just call it bucket hats. I don't remember the pattern name right now out of my head, so now I just called it bucket hat. Ta-ta, there you go. I should have set up a poll. And there we go. Vote, vote, vote. I'll give you guys a few minutes to vote to make a decision for me. Optionally, of course, is I can also triple strand this, I guess, because it's not very thick. I would need to find a calculator. You guys do seem pretty set on the rib knit beanie, because I see 3 votes and they're all the same. So we're probably going to cast on for beanie. I need some space here. We'll have a look at the yarns in a minute again. I was watching an interesting video on the history of the NFL Europe. Okay. Let's see, what did I want to do? I have a feeling we are definitely not going to work bucket hat, which is, I guess, okay, because the colors are really kind of a bit dull for this. So we'll put those back. That does mean that we're likely going to need these. It was way more chaotic than I remember. Plausible. What am I looking for actually? What did I want to look for? Huh. Well, looks like we're gonna cast on stuff. I was looking for calculate yarn weight held together. There's like this math thingy. So and it was based on length and weight. Is that the one? I think this is the one. So if it's 2, I need to have it by 100 grams. So then it's half, then it's 145-ish. So it's going to be like an Aran weight if I hold 2 together. Meanwhile, I see that Rev is a very generous person today. He just gifted a membership. Thank you so much. I hope that Amanda is going to appreciate her new membership. And of course, we do have to celebrate that. Thank you. Much appreciated. So it seems that we are definitely going to be doing Rip Knit Beanie. That seems to be kind of the choice here. Close, too much. I need to, though, figure out what that would be. I felt to go, that's 1 by 1. So I'll need to triple strand it to make it bulky. And if I double strand it, it'll be errant. So basically, I'll probably need 6mm needles if I double strand and 8mm needles if I triple strand. So time to find the yarn again, my friends. What are we doing? We can combine either 2 or 3. And based on that depends on the needles I need. Give it a go. So since we have kind of decided on what we're doing, I'm going to end the poll here because it's a clear 100% vote for the Rip Knit Beanie. Ta-ta! It is a winner. Even though not many votes, it's a clear winner. And it is a cute bag. It's because this is the short needles from Knit Pro, from the J'adore, which I have. And I still have the short string as well here, which I'm going to go with it. So the real question is if I'm going to use 6mm and 2 strands or 8mm and 3 strands. 2. And of the big cakes here, these 3, I might be able to squeeze out 2. Especially if I'm throwing them on my 8mm. I kind of feel these 2 belong together still, but I also feel that the purple and the teal. So I'm thinking one could do these, and one could also do maybe these. If we're lucky. And then, depending on what I have left, I'll figure out how I do the rest. How does that sound? Or do you think it should only be these two? Because else I'm keen on like kind of adding the teal one. Should probably see if I can lighten it up a little bit. Oh, that was default. Oh no, that was too light. Ah, I think my thingy is running out of. I got it too light again. It's because I know why. I looked at the wrong screen. There we are. That's better. A little bit too light for the orange, but a bit better for the rest. You would do the teals on the purple. But I still think these also would look nice. If that makes sense. And that means if I'll triple strand, I'm more likely to have enough yarn in the blue to make two. Because I'll go on thicker needles and I will need less rows basically and less stitches. The orange doesn't really go that well with the teal. I kind of agree about that as well, actually. The teal is just too different, I guess. Because I agree on this, but as I said, I also had the other option was basically only running this with a white, an orange with the white. But yeah, they do have good contrast, that's true. So no teal. But how do we feel about this combo? Hey, Rega! Great to see you, lady. Absolutely wonderful to have you with us. I'm good. I've just been horrible busy, actually, like as in traveling a lot due to family stuff. But generally having a good time. But how does this work? Because that could give me an idea of how much I have left if I triple strand. I kind of want to triple strand. It's not very ideal for a couch project though, but yes, Reke. Generally it's good. I did have some sad things happening. My auntie passed away quite unexpectedly. So therefore I had to travel to Denmark twice in a very short time span. Then of course we can keep venting about the whole world situation right now. And yeah, due to everything getting more expensive, flights now gets cancelled as well due to people making different vacation plans and all that stuff. Reggie, right now we have gone through a few things. I made the Bankhead Beanie back in February, and it needed something, and we started the day by making this pompon because the closing was a bit thin, is the nice word. So now this kind of helps it. Actually, that should probably get trimmed. Okay. I'll trim it at some stage. It needs a bit extra trim. Thank you so much. Thank you. And then we were discussing I could work on the Heart Collector shawl. I could work on, or I could start on rib knit beanies. Or I could start on a bucket hat. That's basically what's left because I only have 2 active whips right now. And the one I might need to like lay out and calculate on and conclude if I'll have to frog or if I'll have to continue. The hat collectors, or we can start on these, or we can start on a bucket hat. That's kind of the plan. And we're discussing color options. So I can triple strand this, or the suggestion is basically only to work these 2 together because it's a great contrast, which I totally agree with. It is a nice contrast. Because this teal goes also really well with the blue, I think. But the teal and the orange goes shite together. And the purple doesn't go with orange at all. Like, that's like not happening. That is more happening than this, personally. But ideally, this needs to combine something. And reality is just that I don't know. And if I double strand, and this is also because these are millends. Rekka! Welcome to the silver medal. Hello, welcome. We need to party. Thank you. I do hope you enjoy the extra special treats. In any case, as always, there is our self-service bar over at the corner where you can find a tea and coffee and cookies. Go with a gut feeling. Agreed. The teal and the purple are mid-tones. The orange is so far neon it needs either another light or dark to balance it. That makes good sense, Ruth. That makes good sense. Okay, so sorry for mentioning these weights in grams. This is 50 gram, and they are all millends, so that's why they're all like various sizes. This is a 50 gram. They're all the same, though. I can feel it's the same yarn, and I can see it visibly being the same yarn. This is a millend, and it's 50 grams. They're all millends, but it's 50 grams. This is 63 grams, so it's 10 grams more. It's 89, 96, and 97. Ideally, I need to ensure the smallest are used up first because I have an idea of how much yarn is then needed for a project, if that makes sense. Because if I'll start on the big one and then I don't have for another project, then I might feel, oh, but what I'll do then. On the other hand, I can also make of this yarn another, let's say, Bankhead Beanie kind of concept. That's not an issue. But I will probably need more than 50 grams for that. I don't think I'll have enough in the orange to make 2. I might in the blue because I do have like 7 grams more of the blue. The purple definitely don't have 2. That's just a one project kind of thing. The real question is basically how much I have left afterwards. What will I use these ends for afterwards? I don't know. Maybe I'll make like tiny amigurumi keychain. Who knows? Who knows? Yeah. Reke is a sucker for Franken projects. Well, these are kind of Frankenstein, I guess, if that's how we're going to look at it. So this is just basically me wanting, so we kind of decided for a beanie, but the real question is, do I want to knit with 6mm needles or do I want to knit with 8mm needles? If I double strand it, it's 6mm and it will take more yarn. It's a fact. If I triple strand it, it's 8mm needles and will use less yardage. There is about 290 meters on 100 gram. Susan agrees to mix them up double-stranded. Rev says you want to do the 8mm needles, so go with the smaller teal, purple, and the dark blue. That's what I'm thinking too, Rev. That's what I'm kind of leaning towards. Because the benefit with 8mm needles, my friends, is it goes quicker. I like something quick. Need something quick. Is that so bad? And they do actually go pretty well together. I think. Like the purple and the blue is really balanced, where the teal kind of gets this kicker. How dense do you want it to be? Doesn't matter. Basically, it needs to be appealing to somebody who would like to pay a few cents for it. That would be nice. So I can recoup my yarn costs. And if they don't sell, I'll donate them to the food pantry or something like that. Well, I'll probably then, actually, to be more specific, bring it to Denmark and donate them to a foundation there. Dense. And I just read totally like dance. That's like, how much of a kick of a color do you want? Jesus. Gekke. I don't know where that one came from. Okay, we can laugh. Yeah, dense. Well, if I only do double strand and 8mm, they're going to be quite not dense. They're going to be see-through. Yeah, dance worked. So it wasn't like the worst typo. But I do agree that the orange and teal is just like a no-go. And the orange, I can easily find another yarn somewhere at some stage to do with. Or I can make a single whatever stranded at some stage that will just be quite thin. I do feel this speaks most for a triple strand right now. And I, after doing the math for knitters, and I do really mean math for knitters, there's a website by Susanna Winder. It's Talvi Knits, Knitting Patterns by Susanna Winder. And it basically defines yarn weight chart. And if you go ahead and calculate the yarns for how they are and so on, you can actually come to an approximate conclusion as to the weights needed and what needle size you need with it. And given that I have 100 grams to 290 meters, let's say 300 just to make it easy, and I have 3 together, then it's going to be like a bulky weight because it's going to be like 100 to 100. So they recommend 7 to 9mm needles. I don't have 9mm needles, so that's easy. It's going to be my 8. And the Aran weight would be the two double held together, and that will be 5.5 to 7. And I can't do 5.5, and I can't do 6, and I can't do 7. But I think 7 might make it too loose still, so it's going to be a 6. Because I have these lovely Knit Pro Cubics from Jador Knit Pro. In wood, absolutely freaking gorgeous needles, by the way. So I'm kind of thinking triple stranding them because I can throw them on the 8mm and it goes quicker. And I like quick. Quick is tempting. There is just one tiny downside. My stitch markers is upstairs. That means lots of counting, but I can also use, no, not these stitch markers. I could use the crochet stitch markers. That's not going to be an issue. I can switch that out later. So I think that's what we're going to do, is I'm going to put these two big ones away. And then we will take these three and triple them. I think that's best color combo. Actually. Outside of just these two. Or this. But then we are back into me missing something to triple it with, or it's thinner needles. And then I don't know if I'll have enough for two on some of the yarns. So this one I definitely, there's just one, and there's just one. Here I might be able to squeeze two out depending. And if not, as I said, I do have a white, it's a thicker white that I can at least combine the orange with. And I also, the teal also goes well with white. I have plenty of white in my stash. It's just going to be a different yarn. But ideally, I can somehow make a combination here that could give me like multiple combinations, if that makes sense. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. And then the fact, of course, that when we are tripling them, it will go quicker because I'll use more yarn in one go. Awesome. And the project will go quicker. Unless, of course, I'll option just for the 6mm and just these two look nice together too. Any color combination spot team colors? I have no idea. Yeah, well, I know some like football colors, but none of these colors I have here, unfortunately. So, but football would be a great option because trust me, football fans likes to have something wearable on their heads, especially in the winter. But yeah, I think we're just gonna go for these three. I think indeed that the teal will give a nice little kicker to them, even though these two just together looks nice too. I'm also sold on that. Why can't I have it all? So it's right now feels more like an attempt to use as much as possible, in the most efficient ways possible, if that makes sense. Okay, orange would be a suitable stitch marker for this because it is a very much different color. Let's see, 2, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Awesome. Ideally, I'd have my round stitch markers, but these will work. It's just I'd like to count less. The club my back is purple, black, white with gold trim, and that's a nice combo. Indeed, I just don't have those colors. Else I would have said, yeah, sure, let's make those. I only have whichever is provided. Cool. The next challenge, of course, is I don't have that many. It's actually nice for once to do something else. I'm looking forward to getting this cast on. And then what I need to do is to ensure that is the end. That is, yes, adjustable like that. And I need it a little bit longer just to ensure I have enough for weaving in ends. It does look like this is going to be a little bit chunky-ish, but like not insanely bad. I do want to do like this, like that. Oopie daisy. Too much yarn. Who would have thought that? Too much yarn. So I actually ideally maybe need to find another needle for the cast on, because and I may have a different one as well for that. So I did have a really good experience with using a smaller one to hold the stitches with, except right now for casting on that is kind of void. So the real question is, so last time I did, this is like plied, this is like 4 plied strands together also, by the way. Last time I did, how many did I do? I did, so normally it's 56 and I did 64. Last time I did a triple stranded one, or generally because I'd like to have a bit roomier fitting for people with a little bit bigger heads. So the real question is how many I cast on. 4, 5, 6. So that's the only thing I'm not sure of, if I'll do the regular 56 or if I'll just keep the extra. And I might be inclined to keep the extra. Oh, these colors are nice. Look at this cast on. Look at the colors so like blending in. I like this. I like this. I just need to decide how many to cast on. Now, how could that be a problem, one would think? Okay, I shouldn't pull that too tight. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. How big of a beanie are we making? How big of a head do we need to make it fit? 10. And we have the extra stitch for closing with. So that is technically first 10. It is really a stunning combination. I'm pleased with this combo. There should be 10. Can't count for the life of me today. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, that's quote unquote 10. I made one last summer, which turned out freaking gorgeously. Oh, we did not catch both of them. And that's one I've decided to keep. Those with the brown shades. Ooh. I'm fiddling today. I'm a fiddler. One, two, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's also a way to get all fiddled in. Neat yarn. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if I'm good, I should have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I do. So that's 20. We are not even halfway. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we're close to halfway. That's the question. Are we doing the 56, 60, or 64? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It is looking freaking gorgeous. Sorry, I'm pulling it all the way back for you guys not to be able to see, but I have a feeling this is a really good choice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That means we are at 40. 40 stitches. So the real question is, are we heading to 56, 60, or 64? A part of me speaks for the 64, I guess. Oh, I don't know. But it could probably also work fine. Well, it will work fine unless. But I think the benefit of the 64 is it gives room for bigger heads. 4, 5. Oh, I missed a strand. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's start by counting this. Rose says, well, if your muse is saying 64, then 64 we go. The worst thing is it's gonna be like for large heads only, I guess. But due to the rib, it will tighten. And it does give, like, it will be less stretched on a larger head, if that makes sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And also looking at this, I think it goes for a comfortable. We could technically do another 4 stitches, and it would work, but it's a little bit on the stretchy end. So I feel that we would all probably do better with 64. My feeling tells me that I will be happier. Or let me say it like this: if it turns out too small, like I often find them on 54, then I will be not happy by not having listened to myself. So I think that's a good point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because normally this is kind of where we would end. That would be 100% Kelsey's pattern. I've just optioned to make it a little bit larger because it's divisible by 4. Regis says a too stretchy hat is worse if it's too big. That's also valid because it drops off and you'll need to like rip it in. But the thing is, I made the oh, what's it called? I didn't make it. Live, no, shorts. Let's just share the screen for a minute. Ta-ta. Where's my YouTube front end? I made this one. Oh, why is it not? It's not showing the right one. Come on, we'll try again. This one I made triple stranded. With 64. And at the end, I do show it fit. But that's last summer. Which, by the way, I've kept. So that's my fit, right? Let's see. Can we not like not just stop here? Look, a beanie, which is fitting. That's 8 more stitches. So it's only 8 stitches. And you can actually see it does stretch you a bit to get into that shape. So I don't know. I could also option to do, instead of, I could do 60. That's halfway in between. That's just 4 stitches. That's not a lot. That could work too. We'll do 60. Decision made. I think. In that case, go for it. Yeah, I think 60 would work too in this case. Don't you? 60? Because this yarn does feel a little bit thicker than the other yarn. It also technically is a little thicker, so that's not irrelevant. Let's do 60. 60 is a good feeling. We'll do 60. So we're just needing to cast on 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's just count if I do have 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I do. It's going to be really nice. I hope you're not too sad about me snatching the dark blue, even though that would be best with the orange. And the orange is a nice pop, but I really feel the orange isn't the right choice here. Okay, so the next challenge is, because we knit that way and we need to have the bigger needles on there, that we need to put the smaller needle on this one. So that is what we'll do, because the change from the wire up here is a bit less on the 7 millimeters, so it knits a bit quicker. So we'll put the 8 off to attach the 7, and then we'll put the 8 on the other one. Talking about specializing. Rev says, it's your yarn. Do what you want. We will merely giving some guidance. You're giving suggestions, and I think the opinions are valid. Because genuinely that orange was best with the dark blue, but that doesn't mean it could be that I have enough dark blue afterwards to still do something with that together. Or, as I said, I end up casting it together with some other yarns. So that was 7. Yeah, that was the 7. Then we need the 8mm on this side for the knitting purpose. Oopsie daisy. The real downside to triple stranding is it's not really couch friendly. And on that note, we finished our series last night. Yay! Double stranding is couch friendlier. But I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Closing these. I have these kilometer long wires. What I need to at some stage is also decide on a bigger project. Like I want to make a sweater at some stage, either crochet or knit. Just haven't decided how and when. Okay, so since I don't have my round, this is going to be my starting marker when we get there. Okay, so need to ensure we have enough yarn to knit with. This goes up here. And this is my starting point. And I can already kind of feel-ish that I almost wish I had even shorter needles, but we'll be here. We'll be fine. Okay, so my experience is so there are 2 options. I can knit 2 together in the very end, or I can transfer that first stitch, and I should have done start the right way this time, and then move the other one over. Oh no, not like that. It's the other one. I'm trying to figure out how it was again. I should know this. It's been too long, ladies. It's been too long. So I transfer this one over, and I move that one over out. That's how it is. The only thing is I should have had the extra stitch there to kind of make up for the other one, but that's cool. That's not an issue. I'll work it. The challenge, of course, with 3 strands now is that I need to ensure I get all of the strands with me. And there we have the challenge. It's always the first stitch. It's fiddly for me. Come, come. Don't drop. Ha! Success. And then we should be able to pull these. Ta-ta! We are connected. Then it's going to be knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And before I'll start, I'll be a clever girl and put on the stitch marker. Knit, purl, yeah, knit, purl. So I do continental knitting, for those curious. And the first round is always a tight show for me. So see, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit. We don't need this one anymore. Purl, knit, purl. Yeah, the first round sucks for me because it always feels too tight. So that was a purl, so we need a knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, and we finish on a knit. So far that is correct. Thing is, so I do what people would call, I believe, continental knitting. So I don't cast the yarn over, so to say. I keep it in my working hand, just like if you do with crochet, or in the holding hand. So it's much similar to crochet than those that's doing the English type of knitting. And I'd like to point out, that's also how I learned to knit like 30 years ago. The alternative option would be to cast the yarn, so to say, and then move, but to use that hand to do it with. So in this case, you would then put in the yarn, you would then take the yarn and cast around, and you would pull it out, which feels so weird to me. The continental way of knitting is a quicker way of knitting. Oh, I just see that this is kind of doing funky, so I just need to make sure it doesn't twist too much. So generally continental goes quicker than the English style, is what I'm told. But I think this is also just as much related to, for example, if you are a knife holder or if you're a pencil holder when you crochet. I am definitely a knife holder. Every time I try pencil hold, it feels so wrong and I can't move my hands correctly. It's like I can't coordinate to get to the act of crocheting like that. I am very impressed with those who can do it. Like if and when I watch Amanda from the Scraptastic Crochet when she is crocheting and she's pencil holding, I'm like, holy smokes, how can you do that, lady? I don't get it. And I guess the same goes for knitting, that you will always have something that will be easier for you than others. I like kind of sort of semi-looked at the pattern, which I asked my mom to make for me, and yesterday she informed me she had done the first report, and I was being like, okay, and I hope it's not too difficult. And she's like, actually, it's not too difficult. I could probably take it with me in the car if I wanted to. And I'm like, really? It did say advanced, but I guess that's also maybe a bit related to experience. I would definitely need to at some stage try something else. What I really would like to get into knit-wise would be to try to make cables. That would require, I think, solid coloring for that to turn out nice. Like to make cables and hats and so on, that could be kind of cool. I do, for that part, definitely need to find also yarn. It sounds funny. My end looks funny. One moment. Oh, we're back, I think. Ah, great. We are knitting today. Well, we did finish a pom-pom before you joined, which looks awesome. And then we discussed lengthy what colors to choose and to knit with. And first, I thought I wanted just to double strand. And then we calculated yarn weight, and I realized I probably had to triple strand if I wanted to use 8mm needles. Because if I only kept the double stranding, I would need to use 6, which would be fine, but I would need more stitches as well. So to ensure I kind of like had enough yarn and so on, I kind of hope to get maybe more out of them than just one per cake. Then we optioned for the tripling, and that turned out to be these gorgeous colors. It's lovely. Poo poo pow pang. They're strong. You have them all here, all 3 cakes. Definitely have most of the dark blue, and we'll see if maybe I'll have enough to make 2. Worst case, I'll make, I don't know, I make roomies of the rest or whatever. It snowed again? Oh goodness, Lisa. It's like 19 degrees here. Meanwhile, Revenant had almost 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like what? In the mid and 20s. Gee. I do not miss snow either. The stream did have a bit of a hiccup. Yeah, me too. I saw, because it kind of like blacked out at my end and being like, you need blah blah blah. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'll show you the pom-pom in a second if you want me to. But yeah, I really like these colors together. They go really nice. I think triple stranding. Yeah, I feel that was the right choice for this. Lisa isn't happy about it. I guess not happy about the snow, which I definitely understand. I would not be happy about that either. Not the slightest. It's supposed to be spring now. It's April, middle of April. Snow belongs to winter. That said, you know, technically we could still experience the snow at some stage. Anyhow, we have done the first round. Ooh, I really like these colors. The optional was this orange. I also have another one of these teals. So that's all the scrap yarns I have from this particular yarn. But the orange just doesn't work with the teal. It's kind of like too bright difference. And it's not working with the purple at all. But it is working with blue. But I only have one blue. And the only one the purple works with, I think, is the blue. Except it does work sort of with the teal. But it works best with the blue. So it kind of needs all 3. So that's why these were kind of like put on the side. And then before you joined, I finished up this puffy. because when I finished up the Bankhead Beanie back then, I noticed that, sorry, my finish here wasn't, let's say it like that. I could have closed out off nicer. It was a little bit like on the looser end. So I felt it needed something to kind of cover up my closure. And I think that works really nice. I totally agree. Rev says here the purple works well as a mid-tone between the blue and the teal. Yeah, I think you're right. And the purple just doesn't work with the teal alone. It's like that seems to be too bright, the teal then. And it doesn't work with the orange either. It's just poo. So the only way to have used the purple would be to combine this, or I should have kept the purple and doubling or tripling it with 2 different yarns. I do have another light purplish in my stash, but I'm not sure if those 2 purples would work. Lisa says I like a pom-pom on a beanie. I'm mixed feeling when it comes to pom-poms. It's extra effort. But in this case, I felt it was kind of needed to how can I say that? To kind of like close it off and seem more like unified and finished. But I have a rib knit beanie. I probably have enough to actually make a pom-pom for that one too, if I like really wanted to. But I mean, yeah, it felt like it needed a finish. I don't feel the closure of the others need the finish in the same way, if that makes sense. So we held a poll as what I should work on, and we had 3 votes of 3 possible at that time, saying that I should work on a beanie. So that's why I'm working on a beanie. Rev says there's not enough contrast with the teal on its own, but adding the darker color with the blue brings it into balance. Yeah, that might be it. That might be it. It looks really nice here, like combining these. Oh my goodness. It's a really nice start. I really have the feeling I'm working opposite, but it's just because it's the first row. Every time with the first row, I'm like, ugh. It feels wrong, but it is right. It takes me like 3 or 4 rows to conclude that I've done it right sometimes, like visibly. And we are row 2, right? So. Recently, Yuan did a lecture on the color theory on his Wednesday Let's Chat Stitches live stream and was very enlightening. I do not agree with all the rules of color theory, but it is a good base to work with. Maybe I should look into color theories. I just like go with what I feel. Like, you know, you can get these color wheels to kind of help choose stuff as well. But often I just end up holding things next to one another and concluding if I think it's nice or not. That's kind of how I go with it. The challenge is just if you can't do that in the store, sometimes you end up having to buy extra yarn to find the right match. Henceforth, heart collector shawl. I ended up buying extra of those solid twister cakes to ensure I had the right and perfect match. But the benefit, of course, is I can easily use those loops as well to make solid colored shawls or color controlling specific changes in a shawl pattern. So that is definitely going to happen as well. Lisa says, I got the ends woven in on my long gin shawl and got it on the blocks. Lisa says, I know a lot of the rules about color theory, but I really don't care. I'm generally pretty good with color. I feel I'm generally pretty okay as well to see if things match or not. And then, of course, there is always a slight hint of personal preference. In this case, it was also a little bit like it would be a benefit to do it with 3 because of then I'll see how much yarn I have left afterwards to see if I can actually do a second. But also partially it goes quicker because I would then be able to work with the 8mm needles rather than the 6mm needles. The yarn is not that thick. So I needed 3 strands to work with. I could, of course, also have optioned to take from the center and outside, and then just 1 strand of orange, and then 2 of the blue. But we're still at, do I really have enough to? Maybe I wouldn't have enough to do a folded, but yeah. But this looks good. Don't you think? I really like this. Nice, I say. This is gorgeous. I really like this combo. Color selection is always down to vibes, but knowing color theory is nice to know some of the whys. More like why certain things can't be put together would be good sometimes. Da, da. I have to say, this yarn is very, very nice and soft. It just slides nicely off these needles, especially here after the first round. It's like the first round after I just cast on is always until I kind of get it all flowing, and it almost feels like as if I have too few stitches as well because they're a little bit tight and not moving as easily across the cable and the needles. But then here, 2 rounds in, I'm like, oh my goodness. And as I said, this yarn is so nice. I really believe, even though I don't know what exact acrylic this is, it feels like it could be Draylon. It is definitely super, super nice. I'm inclined to go see if I can find a yarn on ice that could be the right match. I believe I did tell you earlier this week or even last week that I will be getting new neighbors this summer because the house on the other side of the street is for sale. And the past 2 days, well, yesterday and today, they have had the real estate agents and everybody who's interested in purchasing, they are like coming and watching and talking and getting round tours and can get their bits in and stuff like that. But it does give a lot of extra added traffic in front of my kitchen window. That's usually not there. Because there's only one walking path in the street, and that's kind of like in front of my front garden, where it's also where I can look when I look out of my kitchen window. I think, I don't know, I'll see what we get for new neighbors. My other neighbor suggested us to purchase it, but I'm like, yeah, well, thank you for the offer, but the issue is we don't have the money. It's too expensive. It's bigger than our house, and it's definitely pricier than ours. Like at a solid 150,000 euros. It's more valuable. But I have to say, oh my goodness, because they renovated it within the last 4 or 5 years indoors, and the new kitchen there looks good. I'd love that. Lisa, it's 100% acrylic. That's the only thing I know. It's my Ice Yarns millends. I do suspect it is about 300 meters per 100 grams. Or 290 maybe. So yeah, assuming we would have paid out our current mortgage, maybe then we could have afforded it. The real question is if I would want to live there. They do. If I would buy it though, there would be a room for me for my crafts. That would be nice. I could definitely do with that. But the thought of moving is pretty daunting. So at least it would only be across the street then in that event, but it's not happening. We are having a solid 150, maybe 200,000 too little for doing that. It could be. It is it's like 4 strands also. Like if you look at the yarn ends, then this is like the end of the blue. That really kind of shows it. That's like 4 twisted strands, and those 4 twisted strands are then twisted together again to create this one. And the feeling is insanely similar to Hobby's Kind Feather or their Sunbird. I am inclined to see. It looks great. Let's see. Ice Yarns net. Let's see if we can find it actually. Let's pop over. I think Savor is thicker. But Savor is Drall acrylic. Yeah, Savor is a lot thicker than this because Savor is like Aran weight. It's thinner than Savor, but further than that, it could be similar. Yeah. Because looking at this, it's plausible, but it's thinner than Savor because Savor is here is at 200 grams to 330 meters. I think this is like half the thickness. But like looking on the yarns here, I would say they're the same. So we are looking for basic plain yarns that's similar to Savor, but not Savor. Maybe it's Savor 100. Let's see what that says. And that's closer weight-wise. That's closer weight-wise, but it doesn't have the colors. But of course, that doesn't say anything. Do we have something even thinner than the Saver 100? Twisted DK? That's not it. The weight-wise, it comes a lot closer, but that's not it. Let's do categories. No, yarn tags. It's 100% acrylic. That is what we know. It came in pool skeins, so we need to look for the pool skeins. Oh, that's gorgeous. Let's have a look at that just for funsies. Kicks anti-pilling spray, blah, blah, blah. Saver 200 maybe. That's the one. Let's first just have a look at this, just because I think this is gorgeous. And this looks the same way how this is twirled up in the pool skeins, except so this is baby. So this looks similar. So it's an anti-pilling acrylic, which I could definitely believe. Oh, I'd love to get my hands on this yarn at some stage, but nope, no yarn purchasing. 200 grams to 240. That's kind of the same as Save 100, except it's just a bigger skein. And it looks slightly less like it. And apparently that's also the last ones they have. Chiclayo? I don't know, maybe. But baby could also be similar, I guess. Like if I look at the anti-pilling baby. Now let's take a brighter color because it's easier to see. How this yarn is. This looks exactly. Also, when I look at this photo, like my teal yarn here. I'm just pointing out. This, my friend, could be it. I see, meanwhile, that's kind of paused. Don't tell me that everything is not on the go. But this looks like the one I have here. So it could definitely be baby or anti-pilling baby. That could be the lilac. Could be. And that could be the blue. It could also be the turquoise, actually. So I think it could be baby. But the fun thing is the warm pool skeins. Baby isn't. Weight-wise, this isn't. So that's not the option either. But it could be the baby one. Could be. Of course, we are back to the Saver 100 and the Saver, which is too thick. Oh, I get like all tickly when I see these cakes. Favorite. Could, I guess, also be an option. Cakes DK is the alternative to, what is it called again? Mandala cakes, huh? For a lot cheaper. Different colors though, but do have some options. Of course, the colors you would like, for example, that one, is sold out. And we're back to me. I'm not supposed to be buying yarn. But I'm inclining more towards baby, to be honest, because I think favorite. No, it's too few twists. This one I'm not so familiar with. That could be it, but not really. we are back to babies. These colors are closest actually. And yeah, it could be baby. But it could also just be a yarn that they don't have anymore. That could also be a possibility. So, oh, I see that I actually have, I have two cameras showing here. So if I do this one, and I do this one, like we can, look, that's pretty close, huh? Can kind of like compare them. And when I really look at how the yarn is, that's probably very close to how this is too. So it's definitely a possibility that it's the anti-pilling baby that I'm having here. And then I should have been all right not triple stranding it. It's what it is. I guess we can't make everybody happy. But yeah, for funsies. I've never used to seen either of the hobby yarns, but I've used lots of Saver. And it's pretty thick. Yeah, this is not thick, so that's kind of why I'm like, it would then be a very thin version of Saver, but it's an anti-pilling acrylic then. Revenant says I have some hobby yarn in the stash, but I've only ever used a tea time Halloween, and that was recently. In my next Sort My Stash, I will be showing off my tea time yarn and some other hobby yarns. But it's not the last hobby yarns for sure. So yeah, I am though not gonna do my yarns in chronological order as to brands, makes, or wherever. I'm just taking them box by box. Because else it's too much for me to keep track on which I have already gone through and which I have not. So to prevent any mishaps, that is basically what I'm doing. It also does need to be chronological. I will eventually get to my platter yarns, which is also like lots of cakes. And that is, my friends, when I will definitely be adding some more years to this stash. Of course, now triple stranding yarn. Hopefully that helps me consuming some stash a bit quicker. We will see how far we get. But that means that we ended up not working on the hat collectors. Rev is asking if I have any Sunday cakes in my stash. I think the short answer would be yes. The long answer would be a lot. I have plenty of Sunday cakes in my stash. I have muffins, muffin mini lux. I have regular cotton cakes. I have their cotton candy cakes. I have their opal cakes. I also have just some regular yarns from Stanley as well. So yeah, I have plenty of Stanley yarn. I think that is the very short version of it. Rev says the people over here go gaga for it. I am not into wool, so Stanley doesn't need to be wool. Trust me. They're big muffins, 100% acrylic. And I think people go gaga for it because it's cheap for what you get. Especially their merino ones. And they're thin. Yeah. They're thin, so that's not something for you, Rev. Oh, they do have. They definitely do have more than plenty of none. But their thicker cakes usually contain wool of some kind. But you could probably also easily just extra strand them. Like, I could imagine insanely beautiful blankets with their big muffins, and you just like triple it. They just had a sale from Easter where I was like, 20% discount. Oh yeah. But being like, I really shouldn't because, well, just because really shouldn't. Let's pop over to yarns, cake yarns. Look, box now, free delivery. Would I get free delivery? If I get free delivery, I need this because I love this green. But this is thin. Well, it's not the thinnest. They have thinner, but it's 330 grams to 1,000 meters. So it's a little bit heavier than, let's say, Janat's Rose Garden. I'd roughly estimate 3.5 4 millimeter crochet hook for this. Let's just for funsies say, if I box this, do I get free shipping? Country, please select the Netherlands, please. No, look, 12 euros 78, no free shipping. It's flat rate unless I purchase for 199 euros. And why would I need to buy for 200 euros worth of yarn right now? I don't. So it's not happening. If that makes sense. But it's a gorgeous yarn. Acrylic lurex, you get a slight idea of it. So here you have the mohair wool combine, but it's a thicker cake. But that's where we're back into the wool. The same goes for this. It has merino mohair. The candy star drops I have in my stash. I have a muffin tweed. You have the cotton star. It's a thinner yarn as well. Baby muffin impression. I have some of. Cotton cakes I definitely have. Vegan cakes I also have. I have souffle. And that would be the regular muffins. These are the big muffin cakes, but they're 100% acrylic, but they are huge. And I can easily see you purchasing 2 of these. You have 2,000 meters, so that's like what, 2,200 yards. You could easily make a very, very nice blanket with this, with fading colors. cotton merino for a thicker yarn. Cotton mohair, nope. Australian wool, yay. Again, we have a wool blend. You have the macrame yarns, that's thicker, but macrame is not what you're looking for, obviously. Mini luxe is basically like the muffins, but shorter lengthwise. Panna cotta is gorgeous, but has wool in it. The various souffle yarns. You have here the candy opals. I have some of those as well. And then muffin fresh is like the big muffins down here. So, and the cotton princess is a reasonably new cotton one, but they're also thinner yarns. So for you, you would probably need to double strand some of them, most of them, unless you're okay with wool. That's the thing. Like, this is also pretty gorgeous, but it's super thin. These are super thin. I have this one in my stash. And I think I have this one. I definitely have this one. Let's see, I need to go the all. I think I have this one too. I have the feeling there are some that, maybe that's the one I have. Either one of those two. This one is gorgeous too. I think I might have this one. Yeah. But I think I also have some that's not here. Which might no longer be made. But I have some of these, but they are thin, like 300 grams to 900 meters. They're definitely fine. The recommended hook size often, my experience is I need to hook up. I think they're like a bit too optimistic. Oh, Lisa, I want some of their cakes too, but I don't want to spend 200 euros in yarn, and I don't want to pay 13 euros for shipping. So I am not getting yarn. Not right now. Or I would need to know somebody that I could get yarn with, that we could split. That could be an option. But then we are really back to, I don't actually know anyone that I could do that with here in the Netherlands. So yeah, it's just better to say it's not happening. Not for now. I will keep tempted. Then when we have sorted my stash and find out if I will outlive my stash or not. No! Look. Factory knot, which means that we are gonna cut yarn and we are gonna, yeah, no, that's not gonna work. No. I am not gonna have factory knots in my knitting. I do know, in the sense of, I do actually remember that I had seen the potential of a factory knot when I was caking them. You're going to summon Susan if you keep shopping. Yeah, she'll end up being at my doorstep, giving me the big walk of shame. Shame! So right now I am happy that I am a good girl and I am not getting it. So. And then I need to drop that one and only keep these ones. Then I need to weave in ends, an extra 2 ends. But that, my friends, could be much worse. So yeah, I'm so far I'm a good girl. As I said, I did get some yarns when I got the order where I included the yarns which my mom is knitting for me in. Because I wanted to get the free shipping. But we'll talk about those next week, Friday, in a yarn talk video. That's the plan. But yeah, I think that's still going to be the plan. Let me just quickly check my agenda for that, because I do have other things coming up which I haven't added to my agenda. That would actually be clever to do. So on the 14th of May, it's Wet Thursday. So I'm not home. And then the Friday the week after, so it's Pentecost, but we will be in Belgium. And I'm just going to add that to that list. So that means that we will have a yarn talk on that date. That's actually pretty perfect. Every 2 weeks. Awesome. That adds up so far. I'm just unsure about the Friday in between, what I'll do there, because I'm not sure completely of how the agenda looks for that. Okay. But I refused to pay for shipping, and it was on sale, and I do have ideas. I only need to decide if we're going the back direction or if we're going the bucket hat direction. I think it's going to be the bucket hat directive. But yeah, as I said, it was on sale, so I kind of was like, I've been looking at it for a while, wanting to get it, and it's the way to get the free shipping, so that's why I did it. I think this looks really, really gorgeous together. Oh, this is a good choice. My friends, really, really nice choice, I think. But think about it for a second. We are further than halfway through April already. And I personally don't have the feeling that April really has started yet, but I think it's because I was a week in Denmark at the start of this month, right? It's just bam, time flown by. It's the 17th. So this evening we are having some raviolis for dinner, and in a mushroom cream sauce. It's just easy peasy. Saturday, I'm gonna sleep out for sure. Probably need to spend some time removing weeds in my garden at some stage and so on. But generally, I hope for a bit of a chill Saturday. And Sunday, I have an appointment for my small business. So I am gonna make some cash, hopefully, at an event all the way up northern in the Netherlands. It's an hour and a half drive. So I'll be there for the full day of the event. So I won't be crafting much on Sunday. I will just be lazy as. Monday, we will be live again here on the channel. That's the plan. And of course, also Wednesday. And then Friday, we are back with the Yarn Talk video. I have a feeling. I see what happened. After that, my top chat went on top chat and not just live chat. I need to catch up on you guys. I'm like, why didn't it move at all? Susan made a baby blanket with the muffin mini locks. Emailing the picture now. I first see that now, Susan. Let me get on my email. Oh, that's gorgeous. Of course, I have the benefit. I see everything before you guys see it. Look at this. It's 32 by 32 inches in the muffin mini locks colorway 7212. Could be fun to see if we could find that. Oh, not plant. Platter is what we wanted. That's gorgeous. I have a feeling I have the same cake actually. What did I say it was? 7212. 7212. Let's see if that should work. No. Oh, okay. Cake yarns. Muffin. Where are you? Muffin mini lux. Did I go baby muffin? Just further up. Here. I'm blind. No, it's not all of them. It's just not. It's sold out. 12. That's 1212. But that's not the one. Is it? 7212. It is. That's the one. I have this one in my stash. It's a gorgeous piece of work, Susan. How much is 72 inches? Or 32 inches? How much is inches? Honestly, it's easier if I just pick my tool here. Get out to 32. Flip it around. It's about 80. 81, 82 centimeters wide. For those doing centimeters. That's gorgeous. Rest says, yeah, this month is really getting away from me. I was a bit ill in the beginning of the month, so lost some time. Well, welcome back, Reke. Great to have you back, girl. Lisa says, won't be crafting much this weekend either. Have a big ministry event. Yeah, we all agree it's so pretty, Susan. Yeah, muffin cakes are more for DK weight, definitely. 1651 looks really nice too. 1651. I have this one. Actually, I don't have it anymore because that is, I believe, the one I made the oh, what is it called again? Lapsang T-shawl with. Don't I have photos maybe on my phone still with that? Ooh, I'm looking. Give me a moment because that was last autumn. Yeah, that's the one. You know what? I'm gonna get that on my screen because that's gonna be so much nicer to look at than me trying to show it to you guys via my phone. So I just need to transfer it to my computer. Give me a minute. Give me a minute, please. But I actually have that. Let's see. I can do this, then this, and then I need to save this. Then I need to open this and add this and add this. Oh, it's too big. So I need to decrease size a bit because else you won't see it all. One moment, I am just fixing it for you to kinda-ish. Here you go. That's that cake turned into the Lapsang T-shawl by Red Teapot Atelier. That's the one we worked up last autumn. You should remember that. That's that cake. Okay, what happened here? Ah, that happened. Because we are out further. And I didn't get all the strands with. But that's the one I made back then. That's the Lapsang T-shawl in that exact purple that Ref just fell in love with. And I totally agree. It's so gorgeous. But we're all trying not to buy yarns, obviously. But it's damn difficult when they send you deals and offers and everything. Sometimes I'm just wondering I should unsubscribe from all these emails. So I was only led into temptation because I was a sucker for getting a summer tub. And I requested my mom to knit it for me because she is definitely more an advanced knitter than I am. But she claims it's quote unquote easy. So maybe if it's that easy, I'll end up trying it myself. Susan, I haven't sold my shawls yet because I've been too distracted to get them sold. I need to not frog. Let's try again. I don't need to frog it. I need to block. It's also a 4-letter thing. But I need to block one of my ultimate sacrifices because I've sold that one. But I wanted to block it and take photos of it first, like real good ones. And my friend is being like, yeah, no rush. I'll just really like it. Just, tell me what you want for it. And obviously that's going to be a friend's price. So yeah, that's going to go there. So no, haven't done that yet. The best thing that could probably happen would be for the US de minimis to get removed, both for you guys but also for me, because then I could start ship to the US again. But I did get on with grabbing product photos, so I spent some of the day yesterday to do that. And that is going to be for my bucket hats, so I'll start there, and I'll throw them on a local page here in the Netherlands for Facebook, as well as on my website, to see if I can get some stock moved. That would be absolutely freaking awesome if I do. So that's kind of the current goal of things, I think. I've decided that my knitted beanies are not a priority right now because obviously we are heading into summer. So over the summer towards the autumn, that is when they get prioritized to get photos, product taken, and so on. And actually, it shouldn't really take that long. But I guess the issue is I end up going live and spend time with you guys because you guys are so amazing to hang out with that I just don't get it done. When I really should do. And yeah, there's just too many things that distracts me these days. Or I should probably just have a full day off at some stage. Which I do have at the end of this month, actually. But I'll probably end up just sleeping it out. Sometimes it feels like when I finally have time, I don't feel like doing stuff where I just feel like crafting. Yeah. It's a sort my stash week. I just need to get that handled too. Da-da. But I can't believe how far we are gone this month already. That's insane. Time flies. Time flies. But yeah, so I do have, I think I also have some of them merino wool actually, just like regular flat colors. And I do have a few other things I've gotten from Pleta as well. Some of them is just cheaper. getting it from there than from similar stores as here in the Netherlands. Oh no! Susan deletes the solicitation emails and she's been shopping her stash. Susan, you are very diligent. I think I've been good with the exception of, well, I did get yarn, right? But I did it for a really good reason, and it's not a lot. It was a very, very little amount compared to what I normally could figure out doing. And they are bought with a defined purpose. So Lisa says there's a chance that I might get a knit shawl finished today, which would be a nice. It's an old stash yarn, so I'll be able to use up. Yay! We all like to get things moved, right? Like it's the same for me in this case. If I can use these yarns, that will be so awesome. And they do count quicker towards usage because of the triple stranding, obviously. That said, I crochet quicker than I knit. Rev missed a stitch on the first round of this beanie, and I did not notice it until the end of round 10 or 12. Oh no! Oh. So you can get to frock the whole beanie? Or it's for premature? This is what I get for not counting. This is why I count like triple times. And yes, oh no, I agree. Froggy faces. Let's pop over there. Let's see. That will be this one. That was a beanie, not anymore. Oh, that's thin yarns, mate. And I see the magic logo up here. It's on my desktop too. Except I actually haven't played for a month, I think. A bit more than a month. The last thingy was related to, I think, Ninja Turtles or something, and I was not keen on that. And I noticed that I sometimes forced myself to subconsciously play more because I wanted to like see if I could get most of it in every season and stuff like that. But it just takes too much time for the time I have available. So I optioned out of playing. I should just play for fun once in a while, which would be fine. I should stop focusing on trying to get it all. The end. That's DK yarn. Lisa asks if Rev likes the swing hooks, and Rev confirms he's indeed using Magic the Gathering play mat as a deck pad. Well, if it works, it works. That's what I always say. My mouse mat is this one is actually from my partner's company, but from his old address. So it's, yeah, it's a bit funny. It doesn't matter. It works. It's kind of the same. Should probably get new ones. That would be cool though. That would be nice. I should get myself new ones. My My goodness, it's almost 5 p.m. here. Wow, time flies today as well. That always happens in good company. Yeah, it's a baby beanie. That's a good part, at least, I guess. Rev has a full set of swing maxi, and it's mainly the hooks he's using. Okay. Lisa has one swing hook and cannot use it. They're really decisive, I find. They work for me. Well, they don't work for me either. I've tried something that's similar, and it feels odd in my hands. Or maybe Lisa needs to send her swing hook to Rev. Can go somewhere where it's appreciated. It was a baby beanie and it will become again, just with an extra stitch, right? Count. A swing hook is well, let me show it again. Well, you can't really see. But they are rather special, I'm inclined to say. Actually, they have them on Hobby's website. I'll just pop over for you guys to see it. They look like this. It's just an example of one of many, right? But that's a general term that they are. That's from the upside, but they are like curved, like that. If that makes sense. So this is a swing hook. It's the Addy Swings. And I can't work with them either. That's not my thing either. Indeed, use whatever you like. We all should use what we like. That comes down to the bottom line of it. So I do like using these knitting needles, but I'm not so sure if it's due to them being cubics or if it's just due to them being wood and nice and smooth. So honestly, I don't necessarily think I desperately need them of wood. That said, I can feel that I tend to turn the wood so it holds nicer for my hands. But I think I would likely knit just as fine with round needles. Indeed, a very unique handle. That's a nice way of putting it, Lisa. One thing I like about the swing hooks is that they do not shorten the handle length just because the hook diameter is smaller. Yeah, I think they're sort of ergonomic. I'm not a regular, Rose I'm not a regular fan of the regular swing hooks because the hook part is short, but the maxi ones have a nice long hook. I like the handle of the prim hooks, the ergonomic hooks, but I dislike the crochet hook head. I think that on the other side is very long for my short fingers. So if I could like get the hook heads from the prim, like the Clover Soft Touch I have, and the shaft or the handle from the prims, I would be in heaven. That's what I need. But bottom line is just I have small hands. My current favorite hook is a cheap set I got from Amazon. It's interchangeable and has jelly grip handle. I think I got my Clover Soft Touch from Linda Hobby because they were on sale. And I got the whole range selection of them. And I'm happy because I really like how the hook smoothens through the yarn. Where Prim's ergonomics, they can be really squeaky unless it's woolen yarn. Rev has gorilla paws. Oh my goodness. But it's just, you know, us talking about hooks and what we prefer just shows that we are also individual, no matter hand size, etc. Bottom line, it's what we prefer working with, and we have various reasons for that. And sometimes your opinion also can change over time, or you can try out something else. You might end up figuring out it will work better, or it may not. This hook handle molds to your hand as you use it. Okay. Are you a nice gripper or a pencil gripper? That will be the next interesting question, I guess. Guys, we're closing up to 5. Can we reach to do one more round? Maybe. We did not get started on a bucket hat, which is kind of okay. We may continue on this beanie on next week's live, but we also have, let's not forget, but we also have the hat collector shawl. A knife gripper. Yeah, me too. I've tried penciling it, but for my life, I can't figure it out. So it's just not gonna happen. I really think this is turning out so gorgeous, guys. I think we're gonna go about halfway through in this round. But we got it started, which is something I'm quite happy with. Whoops. We're using up this yarn. That's going to be the end of today's work on this, or maybe I'll work on it later, but at least for before dinner. That's pretty much going to be it for that. Let's see here. It's going to be on the inside, outside. This is gorgeous. But I don't feel that it really shows the right colors on the screen. Not completely. So what we're going to do, it is time in any case to pop over here and pop back up, and let's see if we can do default. That's a bit brighter. That's better. There we go. Look at this. I think this is freaking gorgeous, actually. And it's soft. It's a very nice and soft acrylic. Slightly chunky, which is okay. It's not thick, if that makes sense. So I think it was the right choice with 8mm needles and triple stranding. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So gorgeous, gorgeous. Susan, I optioned for 60. 60. I didn't do 64. Or did I do 64? I think I just did 60. Yeah, I did 60. The repeat for closing it off is 4. So we should be fine. So, yeah. It just means that when I'm closing it off, there will be one where we'll have like an extra stitch hanging around, but I'll be fine. On the last round, but it's still like nicely divisible because it means that when I do work them over on the double pointed needles, close them off, I just need to make sure I have 4 stitches on, like divisible by 4 on each. So that's fine. So I did 60. Lisa says the colors make me think of candy. Yeah, there's a little bit candy to it. I agree. I think they look really nice. So they are really like they're really approachable colors. They're really, really nice. So that I'm super duper pleased with. The Darjeeling tea is getting colder, but not yet cold. It's 5 p.m. It means that it's time for me to close down for this live and prep for some dinner. I had a great company with you guys. Look, we also have this one we finished up. And I think it looks super duper nice with it. After all. Yep. It's a nice one. We have a little bit of leftover that goes into my acrylic scrap pile. And that's pretty much it for now. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I had the most amazing time in your company, as I always do. It's gonna be weekend now, so I'm going to say, yeah, if you're watching this live from the very beginning until the very end, thank you so much for watching. I had a great time in everybody's company today. Yeah, I'm going to see you on Monday, hopefully, about 2 p.m. Central European Time, where we will be live again, unless something comes across. And then I'm going to say take care and happy crafting until see you either in another live or another video. Have a great weekend. Bye.